All right, hi you guys. So today I'm going to be going through my whole entire eyeshadow palette collection and ranking them from my least favorite all the way to my favorite. Now, because this is actually filmed before my January buys, none of those January buys will be included, so you don't know what they are. So there's some palettes that I've tried already in my January buys that I love and would go high in this list, low in this list, but I'm not going to tell you those. I'll tell you more about them in my January buy video. But I counted, I have 43 palettes, which that's not including the January buys, so it's even more than that, which is getting a little bit excessive. And so I'll probably need to I'm trying to use these palettes way more to see like which ones I actually want to use and which ones I do not want to use. So I'm really shiny today. But anyways, without further ado, we will get into it. So I'm just gonna grab this group over here. So in my collection, my least favorite palette is the Morphe 9C Jewel Crew, which you guys might have seen me try to declutter this in my decluttering videos. I kept it because I was like, yes, I'm gonna love it. I love this shade. This is pretty much why I'm keeping it, as well as Rich Girl and Purple Rain. The rest I kind of have. I really also like Fool's Gold. But the thing about this palette for me is that there's no like base shade that I can start with. Like if I'm going in for a base, I'm going to have to just go in with this and then make this darker and make it maybe a little more darker there because there's no base to start with. So I think that's the hardest part about this palette for me. So that's why this is ranked number 43. Now, number 42 is this Too-Faced Tickled Peach palette. I think I just rated this lower because it is so small. There is only like, here, let me turn it. 1, 2, 3 matte shades. It smells amazing, but I think like you're always going to get the same base look for the most part. It would just be like which shimmer you want to put with it. But like I still think this is great for like an on-the-go weekend type of a palette. So that was ranked number 42. Now number 43 is the Naked 2 palette. And this is ranked so low because, well, one, there's like 2 mattes in this, literally. And this matte down here, which is called Foxy, I think it's hit like some type of hard pan. Here, you can like barely see it on my finger. Like, and like when you try to wipe it off on my skin, it's just hard. So like, that's why this one is ranked so low, but like I still use this from time to time. The shimmers in here are beautiful, but like I wish there was just some more mattes as well. So those are palettes 43, 42, and 41. Now we come into these palettes over here. And so ranked number 40 is the Galaxy Chic palette. The reason I think this is ranked so low for me is because it's an all shimmer palette. It's really fun to do certain looks with this. Like, I really like using these greens or like these like reds over here. I really use a lot. But the thing about this is because there's no mattes, it's like you're going for an all shimmer look or bringing this into other palettes. You're not like using this just on its own. So for that reason, that's why this one's number 40. Now, the next one is at number 39 is the White Peach palette. Now, I rank this so low because I just don't find that it gives you all the best payoff. The colors are stunning in here. It's super pretty. I really like the concept of it. But like to me, I'm just like, this is something that it's hard. Clearly, you can kind of see the shade is kind of everywhere in the palette. And I just think, like, you really have to build up the colors, like, over and over and over again. So, for that reason, that's why this one is ranked at number 39. Number 38 is the Wanderlust palette from Profusion, which the reason this one's ranked so low is because pretty much all of these are shimmers. Even Tranquil is kind of a shimmery, but I think I've used it as a base shade, but it is, oh my god, yeah, that's shimmery. But, so basically you're just hanging out down here in your browns, or you have to hang out in your colorfuls, and the rest is shimmery. And I think, like, yeah, I love the shimmers, but, like, you'll see another Profusion palette in mine, and it just is better, I personally think. I think this one, it just struggles to, like, work because there's so many shimmers in it. So that's why this one is ranked number 38. Now, number 37 is the Selvage palette from ColourPop. The only reason this one's ranked so low is I struggle to figure out, like, when I look at this, what I want to do with it. I think, like, I'm always like, okay, like, I'll start down here with some base shades, but then, like, with these blues over here, I, like, struggle to be like, when am I going to incorporate those? Or, like, even with these reds, sometimes I'm like, there's other palettes that, like, I'll reach for red. So I think I just need to get more into, like, figuring out how I can work this palette, because it is beautiful and it goes along with the theme of the palette. I just struggle to use it. So that's why this one's ranked number 37. Now, number 36 is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette, and this one is in Bling Boss, I believe, yes. And, oh my gosh, it looks like this. It's like the more purpley red palette. Oh my goodness. I just struggle to use some of these shades. Sometimes Sparks does not do well. Same with Buried Treasure. And so I think, like, just, like, the fact that some of the shades don't always perform the best is, like, where I struggle a little bit with this palette. But, like, Bling Bling, Hush Hush, Ballsy, like, they all have really good dents in them. So I think, like, that's kind of why I love this palette, but also there's colors in this that don't work. So that is why this one was ranked number 36, I believe, right? 39, 4, 38, 37, 36. Yeah, sorry. Then next we have at number 35, the Just Peachy Mattes palette. I think the reason I ranked this so low is just because even though I like the mattes, I think I struggle with the fact that all of my that, like, there's no shimmer in it. And so I, like, you always are going to have to bring a new palette unless you want an all matte look, which is sometimes I do. So I gravitate towards this palette in those situations. But most of the time I want, like, some type of shimmer. So this is what it looks like. And I accidentally bought mine off of Mercari and didn't realize that chocolate dip was not in there, but it's fine. And so this is kind of them. And so, yeah, this one's there. It's just, like, it's a beautiful palette. It's just something that, like, I struggle to go into, and, like, some of the shades are pretty similar, and so it's just kind of hard to figure it out sometimes. But that's why this one is ranked number 35. Now, number 34 is the Bad Habit Athena palette, and it looks like this. And it's supposed to be a dupe for, I think, one of the Huda Beauty palettes. And the shimmers are beautiful. I love the shimmers. But the thing about it is the mattes. And the mattes over here are, like, this whole, like, these 4, these 3, and then this 1. And so the thing is either you're getting a red look or you're getting a brown look, unless you incorporate this purple, which is kind of, like, all over the place, I think. And so I think that's sometimes why I struggle to use it, and I go in, like, with other palettes and then come and bring in the shimmers from this palette. So that is why this one is ranked number 34. Then we have number 33 is the original Naked palette, which I really actually do love this palette. It's more just the fact that, like, there's really, once again, 2 mattes. This one's pretty shimmery still. And so, but they perform great. Like, this one, out of the 3 Nakeds, this one is the one that literally, I got, like, the last out of the 3. It's beautiful. They've discontinued this, so this is never going anywhere. It's going to stay in my collection forever. And I just think, like, I don't always gravitate towards dark colors, too. So, like, this palette might not just be, like, my personal preference, but it's really beautiful. So that's why this one is ranked number 33. Now, number 32 is the Too Faced Razzle Dazzle palette. And the only reason this one's ranked so low, it smells amazing, first off, is because there's only these two mattes. You're going to always kind of, same with the Tickled Peach palette, always going to kind of get the same exact shades. And so that's kind of like the big thing about it. And then, but like the shimmers are stunning. You kind of sometimes have to dig into them or wet your brush, but they are stunning. And so like, I don't dislike this palette. I just think like also I can like, if I really had to, I could live without it. But I think it's beautiful. And then number 31 is the Subculture palette. And I love the Subculture palette. I think it got a bad name. I just think the colors in it are something that like I don't always particularly use, like the greens and these darker colors. I kind of just said this a minute ago, like I don't always use the darker colors. But this shade Cube, Roxy, Electric, and Mercury, all stunning. I really think this palette actually got like a bad name, like compared to like the quality it actually is. You do have some fallout, but like I get that with other ABH palettes, so what can I do? Okay, now I'll bring over the next 10. And I'll just put these over here now, so then, because my desk is getting really cluttered. Okay, so number 30 is the Huda Beauty Neon collection, and this is the pink one. I ranked this one at 30. Even though I love it, it's just not wearable for everyday looks. You have to like have a particular look in mind when you wear this. And so that's kind of why I just ranked this one so low. There's nothing bad with it. It's stunning. You can see I've had some like major dips in the sparkly shades. I have some major like dips in this purple shade. And so I like actually really like this. It's just not for everyday wear. So that's kind of why that's over here. Then the next one, I do love this palette. It's the ColourPop and I Love Sahari Through My Eyes palette. And I think it's stunning. This is what it looks like. I just think sometimes it's a little hard to use this palette if you don't have a particular look in mind, because it does have a great like variety of colors. I love this color, Misbehave, or Nostalgia. I've like never used this, but this looks beautiful. Emerald Dream and Lomo. Lomo? I don't know what that is. But this is just stunning for like certain times. Like I've really gone into Muse, but like other times it's just kind of like you got to really know what you want to do with this. So for that reason, this one is ranked number 29. Oh my goodness. Sorry, they all just fell. And so at number 28, we have the Naked 3. This is the first Naked I ever bought, so clearly it's a little old, but it's still tried and true. I still use it quite often. This one I think comes with like 3 mattes, so I feel like I can always do a little more with it. These are just colors that I gravitate towards, these light colors. I think it's just like you can make a stunning look out of this palette. It's just I kind of put it down here because it is older. It's not something I always go towards, but it's something that I still love. So that was ranked number 38. Now number 37 is the ABH Carly Bible palette. I just got this palette, but right off the bat, the first like 2 times I've used it, because I've used it twice since getting it. Oh, let me take the brush out of there. It, like, there was so much fallout when I used the like shade Chai. I really had to go into Mandala so that I could like really get the color to show up. Oh my god, it's getting everywhere. But like they're still stunning. It's just something that like I need to figure out more, like how to use it, and like if there are other shades like this one or this one or this one over here have fallout, because this one didn't as much over here, boy, but we will see. And so that one was ranked number 37. At number 36, we have the Bad Habit. That was 26. I'm sorry. They were 26. They were in their 20s. So there was the Huda Beauty palette at 30. Then we had we had the Huda Beauty at 30. We had this Through My Eyes at 26. We had the Naked at, 29. We had the Naked at 28. And then we have the Carly Bible at 27. So this one's 26. The Aphrodite by Bad Habit. This is another dupe, I believe, for some Huda Beauty palette. But there's way more, I feel like, variety to do. You get a darker look out of this one, clearly, with, in terms of the mattes. But, like, I just think, like, there's these cool pops of color in here. And, like, the shimmers are really stunning. And I just think for this palette, I see myself using this more, gravitating towards it more. It's kind of like a good palette I use for when I want, like, a more cooler toned or, like, a splash of color. So this is something that I love to wear. So this is number 26. Now number 25, this is going to probably be an unpopular opinion, but it's the Morphe Jeffree Star collection, or collab. And it looks like this. Clearly, it doesn't look like I've used it that much, but I've used, like, a good amount of times. I just think sometimes it's hard. Like, I'm kind of, like, going over the colors 1 or 2 or 3 more times just to kind of get it to work. Also, like, it's awkward. There's Nate in here, and now they're not dating, but whatever. Oh, I just accidentally put my nail in one noise. Oh, crap. Okay, whatever. So I just think, like, sometimes just going through it, you kind of just got to go over it and over it and over it just to kind of get the final look that you want. And so that's why this one's ranked number 25. Number 24 is the Too Faced Peach palette. I ranked this one lower because, well, first off, mine's a little banged up, but you kind of got to, like, go over the shades gradually. You're always kind of going to get, like, a more darker look unless you throw this peach or this canned peach shade in. And so, like, for the shimmers, it's beautiful, but you kind of got to wet your brush, really kind of go in with the shimmer. You really have to, like, get it to show up. I used this literally yesterday, and for that reason, I think that's why this one's ranked lower on my channel, and in my rankings, but that's okay. So that was number 24. Number 23 is the Sultry palette by ABH. And this one is ranked lower because the Fresh, this color's named Fresh. This is beautiful. It's a darker look. You have this one, like, bloom color. I remember when this was kind of totally in, like, kind of with, like, the Aphrodite palette or the Peach palette. Like, it's darker. I just think, like, for me, practically, I just, like, don't go for this as much as some other, like, palettes that I have ranked higher. But I do still love this. Packaging is stunning. And the quality of these are amazing. So, like, if you're going to pick a palette to pick up, this is still one I would recommend. Go pick up this palette. It's beautiful. But that was number 23. Number 22 is the other Profusion palette that I was talking about in Infatuation. And this palette I love 10 times more. Hang on. I used this last night, so there was a bit of fallout. But I love the colors on this. They're just so cool. They're, like, stunning pinks, purples, blues, like even this yellow goldish shade. But I just, like, I would use this over and over again. It's something that I wouldn't want to leave my collection right away right now. And so that's why this one is ranked number 23. Hello. I meant to say that this one was ranked number 22. I said 23, but that's okay. And at number 21, we have the Zodiac palette by BH Cosmetics. Now, I like this palette. The mattes are super pretty. You can get a really cool look out of it. Here, let me turn it. It looks like this. I just think the thing about it is that, like, the big shadows, kind of like I said with the Galaxy Chic, like, you can get a look more complete than this, but like still the big shadows kind of like aren't always my like favorite, even though that's what BH is kind of like good at and known for. But I think this palette's still stunning. I don't really use this highlighter, and I think it's just like odd to kind of have in the middle. Like, so sometimes I use it on my eyes, but like I always forget that it's there. But I think like the color story, like I just wish it like maybe had like more pops of color, like not just in the shimmers, but in the colors as well, because there's more just purples and browns. But for that reason, that is why this is ranked at number 21 for me. I'm going to go get the next group. Hang on. Okay, at number 19, we have the Mini Breaker palette by Jeffree Star. Now, I ranked this one lower because I've said this a few times on my channel. I don't like how many purples there are in this, or pinks. There's Foreplay, there's Bubblegum, there's Oral, Purple Punch, and Bite Me. And then you just get like these golds, so I don't think it's as diverse as like certain palettes could be, and for that reason, that is why this is ranked at number 20. No. Yeah, 20. This is ranked at 20. I think I said 19, but this is 20. At number 19, we have the Fortune palette by ColourPop. There's a Fame and Fortune palette. I only have the Fortune palette. This was my palette of the summer. It's beautiful. There's dips in like every single color. I still go back to this every once in a while. It's just like I have more colors like this now in certain palettes, so sometimes I forget about it. But it's beautiful and stunning, and the quality of this is amazing. So I don't really have anything negative to say. I don't have as much negative stuff to say about the like last 20 palettes, but like I still think that like this isn't my favorite palette, but like I recommend picking this up. So that's number 19. Then number 18 is the Prism palette by ABH. And, oh, I haven't taken the brush out of this one either. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. So the Prism palette looks like this. It's beautiful. I love, 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 like, this Lure color. And I even, like, have tried this Sphere color. It's really cool. And Eden. And I just think, like, overall, though, this isn't, like, the most wearable palette. So that's kind of why it's ranked a little lower. But, like, overall, oh my gosh, I gotta, oh my goodness. I just nicked the Lucid shade. But overall, I think this is a beautiful palette. And so that's why this one is ranked at number 18. Number 17 is the Blue Blood palette. The Blue Blood palette. Say that 5 times fast. And I think I just ranked this one lower because for me, it's not an everyday palette. I struggle sometimes with like what I want to do with this. Blues aren't necessarily my favorite color that I like just put on my eye every day. And so I think that's kind of where I struggle with this palette. And for that reason, that's why this one is ranked at number 17. At number 16, we have the Norvina palette. I love this palette. When I bought it at the beginning of, or I think it was the end of 2018. Yeah, end of 2018. It was stunning. I love it. It's so pretty, so practical. Like the shades are so like pretty. It's just they're like a little too creamy to the point like the shade Love has broke, or like these shades get everywhere. So I think like for that part, that's the only reason this is at number 16 and ranked a little lower, I guess. But then at number 15, we have the Jaclyn Hill palette. This is still a tried and true, beautiful palette. It looks like this if you've never seen it before. And like, I still love it. I just think like it's not the palette that I gravitate towards every single day with like every single thing like that's coming out. I think I still go back to this, but it's just something that like also sometimes I think gets lost in my collection at times. And so then at number 14, we have the Baby Got Peach palette. And this looks like this. It's stunning. You get a more subtle look, which like isn't always for everyone. Some people want like really colorful, really like exuberated looks, really fun. But like I like this for a good subtle look. And like the shade Hungry Ghost, it just always like makes me so happy to look at. But yeah, so I really actually do like this. So that was number 14. Number 13 is the Kylie Jenner. I think this was the Blue Honey palette. It looks like this. I love this palette, actually. At first, for a really long time, I wasn't using it. I really like it. The blue in here, the blues, stunning. But then you kind of have, like, all around just, like, neutral, good shades that you can kind of go into. Like, take this palette on the go for, like, a trip. I think overall, like, you could do some fun stuff with this if you took it on a trip, whether it be, like, you want a bold look, use the blues. Or if you want just a neutral look, use the rest of the palette. So, I think it's overall pretty diverse. And so at number 12, we have the Blood Sugar palette. And so it looks like this. If you've never seen it before, it looks like this. I think just sometimes like some of the, like this isn't really a red palette, but like some of the reds show up more pink, I think. And so that's why like I struggle with this. Sometimes using these dark ones, they kind of all start to blend together at times. And so I think for that reason, I just put this at number 12 because I think like it's not something I can wear every day. Like I'm not going to go out with a big bold red eye or pink eye or whatever, but it's something that like I still love and find myself reaching for often. The quality is great. And so, yeah. But at number 11, I have the Riviera palette. I know some people didn't love this, but I like think I wanted it so bad and waited for so long for me to get it that like it made it that much better for me now that I have it, and I like use it and love it so much more now. But it looks like this. Sorry, I haven't even used the brush, but I've used my other brushes for it. It's clearly not like an everyday palette. You can get like a everyday look with some of these, but like it's not an everyday palette. It's more colorful. And so I think for that reason, like it's not in my top 10, but it's still something like I go back to. It's like a fun everyday palette. It's something that like I still love continuously. And so for that reason, that's why it's ranked at number 11. And then let me get my top 10. Sorry, I had all of them like laid out on the bed in my room because that way we can, I could go like grab them really quickly. But at number 10, the big 10. So my top 10 favorite palettes. We have the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This is another one just like the Riviera where I wanted it for so long and I waited for so long. And people were like, the colors, like I remember people talked and were like, the colors, like it's not going to be that like amazing how like kind of like Urban Decay, the Naked palettes, the Naked Cherry, all that stuff. It kind of fits a theme. People were like, oh, like, okay, this is amazing. The palette, like you get every single look you could possibly want with this. The like, the condition of it, the formula, perfect. It's amazing. You get like an amazing look every time. You could do a more neutral look with the top layer. You could do like a more exaggerated look like with the middle and the bottom layers. Also, I just took my fingers through there, but whatever. And so I think for that reason, that's just like like the reason I absolutely love this, and it's my number 10. At number 9, I have the Morphe Happy Hour palette. It's the it's the 17 or it's the 15H, the Happy Hour palette, and it looks like this. I know it's like not as like fun and crazy or whatever, and like don't mind the fact that like there's the mirror, but it looks like this. And I think just for me, it's like the perfect neutral palette. You have like amazing shimmers in it. You have like just like amazing different like colors, like these reds and the pinks and just stuff like that. And so I think overall for me, it was just a palette that I love. I still bring everywhere. I bring on vacation a ton. Probably will bring it on my spring break for a more neutral look. But yeah, so that's my number 9. At number 8, I have the Truly Madly Deeply palette by ColourPop. And I think when I saw this palette, I just knew I had to have it. I loved it. It looks like this. It's more neutral, but it still has these like cool like mauve colors over here and down there. You have your peachy colors up here. You have some stunning like duochromes and some glitters and some shimmer. And so I think overall, I just love this palette. It's gorgeous. The packaging's so pretty. And so for that reason, I rank that as my number 8. And so at number 7, I ranked Love in London from BH Cosmetics. I keep it in the packaging just because I think the packaging is cute as well. It looks like this. I am not a cool tone gal, as you can probably see by the palettes and where they ranked and everything. This is the best cool tone palette I've ever used. Probably, like, hands down. I love it. It's so stunning. It's fun. It's something amazing that I love. And so it's just something overall that I was like, yes, I want this. I wasn't going to get it. My friend told me I needed it. I got it. And now I use it all the time when I want a cool tone look. So for that reason, I really love that palette. Now at number, what was that? That's 10, 9, 8, 7. So at number 6, we have the Morphe and James Charles palettes. Now, he's clearly a bit controversial, but this palette does not need to be. There's this. It looks like this. It's got so many colors. Every single color you could possibly need is in this palette. I love it just for that reason. I think that like some of my other palettes don't have like these type of blues or these type of greens or like these purples that are so well pigmented. Like purples are the hardest shade to formulate according to the beauty community. And like clearly I've never formulated an eyeshadow, but for that reason, I think that like palette is just stunning. I used it on my eye look yesterday. I think it's just so fun to use. Then at number 5, it's the Pretty Vulgar Phoenix Rising palette. I did a look with this, like, well, I've done a few looks with this, but I did a look on New Year's Eve. Loved it. It was stunning. This palette is gorgeous. And, like, I just can't wait for, like, more Pretty Vulgar in my collection. And I just think the color story in this is phenomenal. And the payoff is phenomenal. And, like, you just can make an awesome look with it. So, for that reason, that's at number 5. At number 4, we have the Thirsty palette by James, or not by James Charles, by Jeffree Star. And so this palette, oops, forgot that this film was on here too. It looks like this. These shimmers, amazing. I would use it just for those. I love how there's the bold colors down here, but then you still have some neutrals over here. You have these reds up here, which are like stunning. And so I just think this is overall like such a diverse palette. They're also canceling the Thirsty palette as well as the Alien palette without really any warning. So I'm still like my Jeffree Star collection. Like I'll probably do one of these ranked videos with my Jeffree Star collection and my ABH collection. But I think that my overall like thing is that I really want to collect all the ABH palettes. And like right now I just don't have the Jackie Aina palette and the Amarizi palette. But then like with Jeffree Star, I don't have the Alien palette, the Androgyny, the Beauty Killer, or the new Conspiracy palette. That one just went too quick. It was way too hard to get my hands on at first. But I just think, like, I love collecting, like, certain collections like that. And so, for that reason, I really want to keep collecting. But, here we go. My top 3 palettes. At number 3, we have the Gimme Butterflies palette by ColourPop. And so, I just think this is stunning. The pinks in this are beautiful. The shimmers in this are beautiful. We have this duochrome Get Lost. I haven't used that, but kind of looks like the Hungry Ghost color, but with a little more gold reflex. It is stunning, you guys. On the eyes, stunning. I cannot get enough. I really want to get the other, like, Flutter one that's the more purple of the Butterfly palette because it is just gorgeous, these colors. And I'm sure the other one would be the formulation of this, The packaging, stunning. Butterflies mean a whole lot to me. And so for that reason, that's at number 3. Now at number 2, we have the gingerbread extra spicy palette. I don't have the spicy palette, but this is the extra spicy. The looks I've done with this, stunning. More reds, because clearly I'm loving reds this year and like reddish, dark, like deeper tones. But this is what this looks like. It smells amazing. I love the shades down here. This whole bottom row I'm in love with. I haven't tried this midnight snack yet, but I'm excited to. And just like overall, this palette is amazing, you guys. Go pick it up if you can. Find it somewhere. Go pick it up. I loved it. It was amazing. I got it at TJ Maxx. And so I just highly recommend it. And then my favorite palette in my collection, my tried and true, is my Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. This palette, you guys, is amazing. Does this one? No. It looks like this. It is stunning, you guys. Stunning. Literally so many colors. You can also create some pretty neutral looks using the colors up here, the colors down here. You can use some of the more neutral shimmers. This is overall one of my favorite palettes. The colorful looks that I get from this, you guys, are crazy. I literally could not live without this palette, I think. Like in my collection. Clearly I could live, but I could not live with like out this makeup. Like I am so excited that I picked this up over the summer, that I found it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Haven't wanted to let it go since. I at first was so scared of this palette too, you guys. Like you look at these colors and you're like, well, crap, what am I going to do with these? And now I go in and I'm like, I know what I want to do. I want to go for that color and that color and that color and that color. Purple, blue, yellow, red, like you get it all in here. And so for that reason, I recommend this Jawbreaker palette. But so that is my collection, all 43 palettes. And so for just like clearly this is my own personal preference. People are definitely going to disagree with certain palettes that I put in certain places. But if there's any palettes that you think I should try out to put into this collection, let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you guys later. Bye!